37 million Canadians, 10 provinces, and 3 territories make up our big, beautiful country. As beautiful as this country is, there is a darker side to living in Canada.
Everything changed when she turned 18. That was her first attempt at suicide. Her whole body is out of whack. If you're in pain and your life is upside down. She saw the doctor, he admitted her into the hospital that day.
Canada has one of the highest rates of inflammatory bowel disease in the world, and in Nova Scotia, it is the highest in the country. I did some internet searches, I researched Facebook groups, and I saw a trend of people looking for support and understanding from each other because there didn't appear to be much from others. I spoke with someone affected by IBD, and here's parts of our conversation.
My name is Helena Stalls. I've lived in Mississauga for over 40 years. I had 2 children. I have 2 children. My daughter, Donna, who is what we're going to be talking about, is no longer with us. Donna passed away on December 15th, 1999. And I have 4 grandchildren. I have 2 granddaughters from Donna that are now adults, and I have 2 grandsons from my son that just turned 4 years old. As they became teenagers, Donna kind of went down her path, did a lot of skating, was involved with Holiday on Ice, toured over Europe.
So Donna had a pretty busy lifestyle then.
Donna was very vivacious up until her late teens. She loved to party. She loved to go out. She had a lot of friends. And then everything changed when she turned 18. And that was her first attempt at suicide. She had 2 insidious diseases that nobody understands and nobody sees.
It's easier to be compassionate to someone in a wheelchair, and it is less easy to show that same compassion to someone who looks as healthy as you do.
It took 6 months of tests because the doctors thought it was like emotional and the nerves and anxiety, so they put her on nerve pills. And eventually they ordered a colonoscopy, and that's when the whole Crohn's issue came to a head of what she had and what she was dealing with. She was a different person. Her whole life was upside down. Her life changed. Her habits changed. She was in and out of the hospital between her Crohn's and her bipolar and depression and her mental issues. It was constantly in the hospital, out of the hospital, in the hospital, out of the hospital, doctor's appointments, different meds, trying to get things regulated. Oh, it's horrible.
What did you do for support for you and Donna?
There wasn't a lot of support. You're right. Just relied on what the doctor, her GI had to say. Remicade was not available then.
Crohn's and colitis are different, but share many of the same symptoms, falling under the same umbrella. The symptoms vary from person to person because the disease expresses itself differently in everyone. Now, this becomes a challenge with finding medications that work and continue to work over the long term.
She took like 20 pills a day between her Crohn's and her mental issues. And part of the battle was trying to regulate the pills because one pill would kind of counteract the other pill. Or she'd get to a point where I'm not taking the pills anymore. I'm done. It was a constant battle.
Depression is common with those who live with IBD because of the chronic nature of the symptoms.
It was horrible. She couldn't get out of bed. She couldn't look after her girls. She couldn't be a mom. She loved being a mom. That was her priority, but she struggled because she couldn't look after them many times on many days. I think it was just a struggle because her Crohn's was so bad to do what she needed to do to look after her children. I mean, she had to give up her job because she couldn't make it to work without going to the washroom 5 times or whatever was going on, or she'd be throwing up at work. She'd be ill at work. And I don't know, that things have changed much. They didn't have much leniency for anybody that was sick.
Talking about bodily functions can be devastatingly embarrassing for most of us. This is part of the reason why it lives in the shadows of our bathrooms. We need more conversations around it so we can destigmatize living with IBD.
The only time Donna seemed to be in her little world of uh, freedom, I guess, was when she was on the ice. Donna loved to skate. Donna spent a lot of time when she could skating.
Mhm. And it's probably due to the fact that, her frequent bowel movements, the pain and nausea she was dealing with, she just didn't have the energy, I would assume.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're in the washroom, every hour on the hour, most of the day, or you're throwing up, or again, you're too much pain or you're too tired to get out of bed. I mean, if you can't eat, you're weak to begin with, and then you're in pain, and then you try to eat something, and then you upchuck it, or whatever.
Let's do some math. If you do not have IBD, you'll have about 1,100 bowel movements in a year, and that equates to about 4,300 wipes versus 5,400 bowel movements and 21,800 wipes. Trust me, you take pooping for granted.
She had arthritis from the Crohn's. She lost weight. I mean, at one point she was down to like around 100 pounds. Donna was 5'9". She was a tall girl. So, when she couldn't eat or couldn't keep stuff down, it was like she was like a walking skeleton. So it's like a total vicious circle, right? I mean, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I think that the mental part of it was people just didn't understand. People didn't, she'd make plans to do something and then she couldn't do it because she wasn't feeling well that day. And people would go, "Well, what's wrong with you? What do you mean you can't go?" Or, there was no empathy, there was no compassion, there was no understanding.
Imagine the last time you were really sick with the flu. It's coming out of both ends with no signs of stopping. You're tired and weak, you're hungry and thirsty but don't want to push your luck. You have a headache, your entire body aches, and you rest up for a couple of days and then it's gone. Now, what if I said you had to live with those and other symptoms for the rest of your life? Let that sink in for a moment. A lifetime of flu symptoms. But wait, there's so much more. Excruciating pain that rarely gives up, weight loss, weight gain, depression, bleeding, mouth sores, low energy. The list goes on and on.
So the Crohn's affects your life to your physical being, and because of what it does to you physically and how it affects your day-to-day routine and your interaction with people, affects your mental state. I belong to a Facebook group, which is where I think you and I connected, and I see people are still struggling with that. It's like, I'm invited to a party, but I don't know. I said, well, maybe I should bring my own food, and the people, I don't want to upset anybody. So again, you're back to, I don't want to upset other people, but I need to look after myself. So do I stay at home? Do I not go? And I think that's why Donna turned down some things that she would have liked to have gone to. But you have to weigh, do I put myself in that position and I know I'm going to be sick for 2 or 3 days or however long after, or do I just stay at home?
Where do you think the issue is then with we haven't moved very far?
So in my mind, I think the issue still is there's not enough education about it. People don't talk about it. Let's be honest. How many people want to talk about spending your day in the washroom? I'm always trying to raise awareness about Crohn's and mental illness. They're my two passions. Some of her peers came together and we started the first event, Just Gotta Skate, because that was Donna's saying, I just gotta skate. I would feel better. When she was on the ice, she felt better. She didn't seem to be in pain. She seemed to be in her own little world when she was on the ice. So we did the Just Gotta Skate and raised over like $130,000 for Crohn's and colitis. I wanted Donna's passing to mean something, that she didn't suffer for nothing.
Remember, IBD isn't just diarrhea. It's weight loss or weight gain, and body dysmorphia leading to depression. Remember, IBD isn't just going to the bathroom frequently, it's urgency, it's chronic pain and discomfort, it's fistulas and fissures. Remember, IBD isn't just about embarrassment, it's social stigma, it's social death. Remember, IBD isn't taking time off because you want to, it's debilitating nausea and low potassium resulting in low energy. Finally, remember, IBD is about people and not their symptoms. It's more difficult than you can imagine. It's their fight, it's their struggle. Offer your support, not your advice. But not all hope is lost. Find your community of support. Surround yourself with those who will lift you up and walk with you on this lifelong journey.